What's up, y'all? Back again with another video, and we're going to do a parts haul today. At least that's what I'm going to call it. Basically, I ordered a bunch of, I guess, aftermarket car part goodies for the green Civic, and I have cut the boxes open, but I actually haven't pulled anything out and kind of, I guess, unboxed the actual parts, looked at anything yet. Figured it might be good to make a video so y'all can see me do that, see some of the goodies I bought, tell you why I bought some of them. Will be pretty self-explanatory, but tell you why I bought some of the one or two of the other ones. It's not a ton of parts, it ain't gonna be a real long video, but we're gonna get right into it. Alrighty, so first and foremost, we have a box from Hardrace right here. Of course, you can't see part of the label because it's covered up, but stickers first and foremost. I love stickers. Assuming these things turn out to be pretty good quality, which from what I understand, Hardrace has a relatively good reputation. We're gonna get into this. So, if they turn out to be pretty good, I'll be putting some stickers on. Alrighty, here we go. Just pulled it out of the bubble wrap. Apparently that was more of a two-handed affair than I initially expected. This is a lower rear control arm. I went with the Hardrace because they offer the hardened rubber as opposed to the polyurethane. I've had polyurethane bushings in some of my other cars in the past. My Dodge Neon had a whole bunch of polyurethane in them. Some of the polyurethane bushings hold up very well long term. Some of them do not. And most all of them require quite a bit more greasing and maintenance than a comparable like rubber bushing. So this is kind of like, I'm hoping this is going to be like a happy medium. I've heard relatively good things online about the Hardrace and the hardened rubber, and since the green car, although it is kind of like, I'm hoping it eventually be like a track rat and I can track the car a little bit more frequently. Hopefully that'll happen, but in the meantime it still will see quite a bit of street use, and I don't want this thing to be terribly high maintenance in the process. So, and while I'm thinking about it, the reason I even got new lower control arms, because the car actually has aftermarket lower control arms on it as it sits right now. But the reason I had to get new ones is because where the shock connects to the lower control arm, this bushing right here, on the ones that I have on the car, they're like some, I don't even know what brand they are, some cheap eBay Godspeed, what the hell, knockoff brand, I don't know. And the bushing has gone bad, and I believe that's where the clunking in the rear of my car is coming from. I thought it was a strut top because it sounds like that, but after looking under the car I can tell the bushing has gone bad, and being as they're cheap ones, I don't even know what type of bushings they use. So that was part of what prompted me to buy these. And Hardrace used to sell basically a stock lower control arm with just the upgraded bushings in it, and they come painted and all, but apparently they no longer do that, or at least that I could find on the website. So I went with the machined black ones. They come in all their colors too, but I wanted to kind of keep it as subdued as possible, so I went with the black. Next up, well, I guess technically next up we have the other control arm, but theoretically they should be virtually the same, you know, one left, one right. I don't even know if there's actually a difference between the two sides. They might be the exact same part. But, so there's probably not much point in unboxing that other than to make sure it's not damaged. The next port that I ordered is upgraded steering rack bushings. I have to pull the steering rack out of the car anyway to do some upgrades to, or not upgrade I guess, but I'm going to delete the power steering because I prefer it that way, and the power steering is leaking and I don't really feel like fixing it and all that anyway. I've had quite a few cars without power steering. I prefer it that way. So while I had the power steering rack out, deleting the power steering and removing all that crap, I'm going to upgrade the bushings in the steering rack, because I've heard, you know, of course you always hear two sides to every story, but most of what I've heard is that, you know, bang for the buck, these are a pretty good upgrade and they do improve the steering feel and all that. So these combined with the deleted power steering, I am keeping a power steering rack, but I'm just deleting the power steering off of it. that should be a nice upgrade. Also, while I have the steering rack out, I need to upgrade I need to fix the inner tie rod boot on the driver's side. I put a new inner tie rod on it, but the boot did not go so smoothly and it got a little messed up, so I'm going to buy another new boot and put that on while I'm doing all of this. Should hopefully be easier with it out of the car. So, we got the 2 lower control arms and that's all the rear stuff. Next up, we have some parts from NRG. They're actually not from NRG. I ordered them from JHP Motors, I think is the name of them. Yes, JHP USA. But they're NRG parts, so I can connect my Grip Royal steering wheel into the green car, which I've been looking forward to doing for a while now. So, first and foremost, we have the actual steering hub. I can get this open one-handed. The actual steering hub adapter. And if you were just mounting the steering wheel without a quick release, this, I believe, would be the only part you would actually need to do that. That gold surface right there, as I understand it, is your horn contact. There's plenty of tutorials online on how to set all that up and how that all works. I'm not going to go into that right now. I may show it to you once I do it, but that's your horn contact. You find a way to put a spring-loaded contact up against that so it keeps constant contact while you're spinning. You got the splines down inside there, which I don't know if you could see or not. And then these are the contacts that you would connect to the horn on the actual steering wheel, assuming you were putting just the steering wheel on. If you were using a quick release, as I am, then you bolt your quick release onto this, and then your steering wheel goes onto the quick release. And then this should theoretically be the quick release. Looks like some instructions, a sticker. Actually, this might not be instructions, this just might be promotions to try and get you to buy more of their stuff. A small Allen wrench, likely for adjusting or installing something. I don't know what just yet. There it is. Use this phone so we don't beat up the cable or the adapter. Alrighty, so here we have the actual quick release hub, I guess you would call it, or adapter. The horn contact from the actual hub adapter would then go into this, and your horn would actually connect to these right here, and your steering wheel bolts to one of these sets of bolt holes up here. And let's see if we can figure out how all this operates. Alrighty, so we got the quick release hub here. It's got this safety button up here, which I believe you have to press that in, and then you pull up on this ring at the exact same time, and that releases this. This is the part that would actually bolt to your steering hub. This is the part that would actually bolt to your steering hub. This is the part that would bolt to your steering wheel, as I understand it. And yeah, there you go. Looks like they only go together one way, I believe, if I'm understanding this correctly. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like it. The notches where these balls fall into line to lock everything together, they're laid out in such a pattern that I believe it only allows it to lock in one position. There's 4 ball bearing holes across the bottom, and then there's like 6 or 8 across the top with a gap on each side. So you spin this, and then once it's in the right position, it locks. So alright, that's that. Pretty cool. I imagine it'd be a lot easier once there's a steering wheel attached to this and you're using all of this. But once you get the feel for it, it's actually not bad at all. Alrighty, so there you have it. We're going to put all this stuff away before I break something while I'm screwing around with it. Before I finish though, we will finish looking in the box here. Looks like there's some other stuff in here. Without reading the instructions, some kind of hub adapter ring thing. I don't know, maybe, looks like maybe it goes down in there. I'm not 100% sure. So before I force something and break it, I'm going to read the instructions before I make any solid assumptions on where that definitively goes. But I believe it goes down in the middle of this somehow, some way, for some reason. There's also some kind of, they look like big washer plates and a tool and I guess your attachment screws and all that. Again, read the instructions, don't just assume, because I certainly have no idea the correct answer on what all of this is for. Alrighty, so there you have it. That's been the parts haul. Nothing crazy, super big or fancy. Some of it was more necessity than performance modification, you know, but if you're going to replace it anyway, upgrade to some good shit. The steering wheel stuff was because I bought the steering wheel while it was on sale. Wasn't really planning on doing the steering wheel this soon, but when I bought the steering wheel like a couple months ago, it was on sale, it was a good price, I wanted that steering wheel anyway, so I jumped on it, bought the steering wheel while it was on sale, and rather than let the steering wheel sit around forever, I went ahead and bought the stuff to mount it up so we can get that done. I'm excited to get that done, get it on, you know, see how all that works, see how it feels, play around with it. The lower control arm and the steering bushings will also eventually get done. At the moment I got the red car outside and I'm doing the full exhaust system on that as well as the rear brakes. So it's going to be a little while before we get all this stuff installed, but I'm definitely going to try and make a video when I do this stuff step by step. So I'll see you then. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get the videos when they come out. Hit me up on the social media, especially Instagram and Snapchat. I'm pretty active on those two, especially. I get on Twitter a lot. I'm not very active on Twitter, like posting things like that. So Instagram, Snapchat are the two best ones to hit me up at. But yeah, hit me up over there. Keep up on the stories. I post stories every day or so. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.